Yeah, there you go. All right. Sorry, I suck, dude.
Nah, dude.
I had no excuse. I was baking bread and went for
Oh,
a walk.
heck
Yeah,
yeah. That's a beautiful
I
excuse.
know. Okay, cool.
What kind of bread did you make?
I make a lot of sourdough at home, but today I made ciabatta bread.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I made some scones earlier this week. I never like baked my own like bread though.
It's pretty fun. I've been doing it for a while. I worked at a vegan, gluten-free bakery for a while. That's where like I learned how to, and then pizza and all that stuff. Working at different restaurants. I got into like baking bread.
Heck yeah,
It's fun.
dude.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, so can you teach me like a quick recipe how to make my own bread? Like what do I
Oh,
need?
so like those little packets of yeast you get at the store.
Yeah.
So that's what's cool about sourdough is you actually get to you make your own yeast with flour and water, and that's called starter. So, and then what you have are baker's percentages. So there's different, and this is all percentages based off of how much flour there is. So X amount of flour you have, that is 100%. And then you have whatever percentage of water and salt. Ciabatta is cool because it's got my bad. It's got olive
It's all
oil
good.
in it and a lot of water. But let's see. So what I do is 500 grams of flour, and make sure you have good bread flour. That's the main thing because different flours have different protein structures. And then also you want to do it by weight because a cup of flour it can be pressed down or a lot lighter. So it's good to have a weight. 500 grams of flour is 500 grams of flour. And then I do about 360 grams of water. I do about 12 grams of salt. And I do 75 grams of my starter, which is the yeast that I made, but you could probably get away with 2 grams of your packeted yeast. And so that is a decent bread recipe right there. That is about 75% hydration, which is the more water you have, the softer it is. But with the more water, you have more of those bubbles, which could make the bread fall apart. So you have to find a very happy medium. There you
Do
go.
you do you like bake it? How long do you bake it for?
Oh, okay. So I have a Dutch oven. Basically, what you want to do is you crank your oven as hot as it goes, which is for most typical convention ovens. Those are about 500 degrees. So I bake it at 500 degrees for about 20 minutes, and I make sure I have a lot of steam in there because the steam forms the crust, which is awesome. And then I bake it for another, I'd say 15 minutes without the steam at 450, and then make sure it cools down for about an hour before you cut into it. Because when you take it out of the oven, it's actually still cooking for a little bit inside. And you can mess up the crumb if you cut into it too early. Wow, this is great. I've never been interviewed on bread making before. This is great. I know I love baking bread, and I don't ever get to talk about it. This is I 10 out of 10. You
Yeah,
get a
dude.
10. All right, just based on the one question alone you asked me. This is great.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm super into like making my own food and stuff like that. Yeah, dude, thanks for coming on and teaching me about bread and stuff.
Literally anytime. Thank you for inviting me. I was like, oh, my heart almost literally melted. Thankfully, not entirely. It more of like a figurative melt, but a little piece of it like melted. Very excited that you asked me to do this. So I'm
Heck
honored.
yeah, dude. We've talked about it before. Like, oh, we've been wanting to like do a podcast, but it's cool. It's just interesting. Like this, like quarantine situation is like
Yeah.
really like pushing me to like produce these. So
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
Yeah. Now that you have the time, that's cool. No, I'm super stoked that. Okay, so I've only like, I feel like I would love podcasts. I just have never listened to them before, except yours and our dad Zach Valadon's. Those are the two that.
Wow.
Yeah. So feel special about that. Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude, for sure. That's awesome. We broke your podcast cherry or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's pretty like go with the flow. Like, is there anything you want to talk about, or you want to keep like riffing back and forth?
Let's just keep riffing. Yeah. What do you? What did? So besides these podcasts, how are you treating yourself in these times with this whole quarantine situation?
Oh, dude, it's been a lot of self growth. I love this question. It's been a lot of self growth and like just being creative and like writing. I've been writing a lot and also like doing a lot of like physical exercise. So
Mhm.
like burpees and like a lot of
Bucking,
yoga. Yeah, dude.
cool.
And then I've been able to like work from home, so I'm pretty freaking blessed and really
Yeah,
grateful.
awesome. Good for you. Good. Glad to
Yeah.
hear it.
Yeah, what about you though?
So thankfully, yeah, working at Rock City, I cannot ask for it. They have treated us so well there during this time. Like, so they've, because of that, it's literally turned this whole thing into just a vacation for me. Like, I'm caught up on sleep. Uh, so as everyone was hoarding all these different random things, there was a period where everyone was hoarding all this flour. And as you know, now I love to bake, and so I was crushed. I was like, I was gonna take this time to bake a bunch of stuff,
Mm.
and they got me like a 50-pound bag of flour and stuff. Just
Wow.
yeah. So I've been baking a lot. So like with sourdough, like I said, you make your own yeast, and you can incorporate that with other stuff. So I've been having fun. I also learned how
So
to make ramen.
you learned how to make ramen?
Yeah, like not the packet of ramen, like make my and sheet and cut my own noodles and stuff. So I've been doing that a lot too.
Heck yeah.
Just yeah, I do a lot of cooking and stuff. I always enjoyed that.
That's freaking awesome. How do you prepare the ramen?
Okay, so what you have to do is you take alkaline salt. And what that is you take baking powder, bake it on a very low heat for a very long time, and that changes the pH levels of it. So it becomes a salt. Okay, here we go. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna bake baking powder, bake it in the oven for I think like 200 degrees for an hour. So it's really low heat for a long time. That changes the pH level. You mix that. I don't know the exact ratios, but you mix that with flour and water. You have that salt, flour, and water, and that becomes the dough, the pasta dough for ramen. You have to let that sit in order to let the gluten develop and everything, and then you basically just sheet it out and you boil it. It doesn't take very like homemade pasta and stuff doesn't take very long to cook. It takes maybe 90 seconds, and you boil that. There you go. You got ramen. So I've been making my own broth and marinating boiled eggs and stuff. I've been going all out about it.
Heck yeah, dude. Do you make your own broth too?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So I go, so I buy a lot of my produce and stuff
Yeah.
from the farmer's market in Ojai. And I get whole chicken. And so when you do that, you can actually extract all the bones and you can make broth out of that. So I make a lot of chicken broth.
Cool. I made I make a lot of beans and I have a lot of bean broth left over and I feel like this is like the perfect time to use it, make some kind of bean ramen.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. I'm okay. Okay. I like this.
Yeah,
What
dude.
kind of beans do you make?
Lately I've been making Peruvian beans and then usually like pinto beans or Peruvian beans.
Hmm. Cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a black bean boy. Always have been, always will be.
Yeah.
So, but I actually have never kept it as broth. Like after that, that's smart. What do you do with the broth after it?
Yeah, well, I think now I'm gonna be making ramen, like, but I don't know, like sometimes or like my mom would just like keep it in just like a plastic container for like
Mhm.
for to make soup with later on.
I
So
like that. I need to do
yeah,
that. Yeah, because I like to be able to make literally everything I eat. I want to be able to like do that. Like
oh yeah, dude,
that is the goal. And so I because that I do keep a lot of things. I keep a lot of vegetable trimmings and I put them in the freezer so I make vegetable broth later. I
oh
compost and I garden with it and stuff. I try to be like
yeah.
as recycling as possible.
What kinds of stuff do you garden?
So right now, I mean, I'm in an apartment, so I can't garden too much crazy. I have sweet basil, I have mint, I have rosemary, I have is that another one? Oh, chives, and then just a bunch of flowers and stuff.
Heck yeah, dude.
Mm. So
I need to start planting some like flowers and herbs.
yeah, definitely. It's kind of cool because with some herbs you can just kind of keep reusing them, and it's just like
Yeah,
another member of the family. There you go. You buy gifts. You drive it to the airport if you needed to. So, uh, so it's kind of cool. Like I just try to make as little trash as possible
Mm,
on this planet. So
cool.
so gardening and composting is a big thing of that.
Yeah, why do you make as little trash as possible?
I just feel like it's the right thing to do. I just know there's already like a lot of trash as there is, and I just feel like the more things I can do to benefit this planet, what even though it's just me, like the better I feel about it. So I try like I'm not a strict vegan because the animal products I do get, they are from the farmers market. I like supporting those small local farms, and so I do get like chicken, and I get honey, and I get cheeses from animals that were like properly farmed and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
I'll use the bones to make broth, and I try to really recycle everything. But other than that, I try to stay vegan. A lot of things I do cook for myself are vegan. Um, for that reason, a lot of the soaps I get are cruelty free and recyclable. I used to go to the refill shop when that was open and refill all my soaps and stuff. Just try to, I don't know, just treat the planet in a respectable way, or in a respecting way, not respectable, but
Yeah.
uh, just it's the responsible thing to do.
That's freaking awesome, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's something cool about Japan is that like there's like the littering is like there's not that much litter in when I was
Yeah.
in Tokyo and
Oh, you
there
win?
yeah, dude, I went to Japan for a little bit.
Oh, clean invite, but dang, dude, wow. I'm glad you went though. You out of anybody, because like I can already I see it in you. Like you actually appreciated it. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, dude, thanks. Yeah, it was really cool. And then we also went to Kyoto. And it kind of sucked because there's more litter in Kyoto than in Tokyo, and Kyoto's more like the nature city. Like it seemed it was like a cool harmony between like humans and nature. But then yeah,
Cool.
but like yeah, it was pretty interesting. And there's like you hold on to your trash. Like there's not as many trash cans. So it's like you
Just
hold on
put
to
your
the yeah, it's yeah.
interesting. That's kind of cool though. Yeah. And
And
then
then yeah, the trash is like super organized too. That was the other thing. Like you ever see those trash cans where it says like compost, recycle, and then like consumable or combustible,
yeah,
whatever it is.
yeah,
So it was like
yeah.
whenever there were trash cans, it was like sorted trash.
Really, it's good. Yeah. See, that's it's. I'm glad that that stuff is happening on this planet. I just want more of it, I suppose. So
Same, dude.
mm,
Are you into traveling?
definitely, yeah. I haven't. The only countries I've ever been to were Mexico and Canada. I
Yeah.
haven't flown. I haven't flown anywhere. I've driven to a bunch of states and everything, but I haven't left the home ground. I don't know why. I
Wow. Where do
haven't
you
had the
want to go?
Japan, definitely. That's like top of the list.
Heck yeah.
One of them. I think Greece would be cool. I feel like there's just like an awesome culture in Greece that doesn't get honed into a lot. I also want to go to like Thailand. I think that'd
Yeah.
be too. So, but literally anywhere. I'm just down. I just like there isn't a place like I'd not want to go to. Like if someone's like, "Oh, you want to go to friggin' I don't know Germany?" Like, heck yeah. Like you want to go to the Philippines? Like heck yeah. Anywhere really. Like I'm super down. So
It's freaking awesome, dude. Do you know what kinds of stuff do you want to do in Japan?
oh man, literally any and all of it. I just like because that is a whole culture in itself. It's so interesting to me that there is like such a cool mindset and like I said, culture to such a small little piece of land. Like it's not that big and it's
Yeah.
so concentrated with so much stuff. It's very interesting.
Heck yeah, dude. One cherished memory that I have about Japan is we went to a punk show. We went to this venue called Anti Knock, and there was it was like an EP release party or something with the band Hopeless Raven and To Overflow Evidence and then Autobus. So it was like such a trip, dude, because it felt like I was with my people, like
Yeah,
in a small
that's all.
room of just people wearing black, and then
Yeah.
like but one thing that like kind of sucked that was like a culture shock thing is that they were smoking inside. So it's like just like a small little like punk venue, and
Mhm.
there's like cigarettes on like all like the 2 floors. So that was kind of a trip.
Yeah, that is crazy, but it is interesting, yeah, because that's just like a social norm for them. And I guess there's nothing really bad with it. It's so different than it is here for us. So we just like notice all those things. It's cool.
Yeah.
But speaking of punk show, what do you do musically? I haven't heard of any music from you in a while.
Yeah, dude. I've been making a lot of hip hop with my homie Luis. So like
Oh,
where I'm recording at right now, this is the Dream Dungeon.
yeah, the beat lab. There you go.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
the studio, the laboratory.
Yeah, good. That's
And
awesome.
yeah. So we've been like we have a lot of stuff cooking right now.
Cool.
Yeah, dude. I have some like hip hop on SoundCloud, and I've been like kind of sneezing beats, if that makes sense. Like sometimes when I'm inspired, I'll just like make one real quick, and
Yeah,
then
that's cool.
yeah, I just need to like
Did
do
you?
something with them. What's up?
Yeah. Did you make the beat for the Plan Your Escape hate song on Two Brothers?
Yeah.
Well done, my friend. That was
You
tasteful.
too.
Yeah, that was like the greatest collaboration I've ever had a part of. That's great.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about that real quick for anybody that doesn't know. Like,
Oh man, yeah, please.
I want to hear your reaction when you heard it. Like, what was that like?
Okay, I had to listen to it twice because the first time I laughed the entire way through. I couldn't even believe it was so funny. It was so funny. And I wish we took that farther than we did. I felt like once everyone realized like, oh, they're just joking, we all just kind of gave up. But I wish we just kept the joke going even farther. But next time, I guess. But that was one of the funniest things I have had seen happen in this little local scene. That was hilarious.
Dude, it was a funny like it was a funny time making it just because like it was so there's so much love in the situation where like
Yeah, I
we're
know.
like talking about it like, okay, so what are we gonna do? Are we gonna diss 2 brothers or what? And then I was like, yeah, heck yeah, like let's do it. And the I remember I was like just like listening through all your songs, and I
Mm.
was like, oh, this is the perfect one. And, and I was like, I want to like give it a little something something though. And
It
so I
was that worked out. Like I remember when I heard that, I was like, "Dang, dude, I can make good beats." Like if
yeah.
someone else my music, that sounded pretty good. No, you outdone yourself with that. That came out sounding really good.
Yeah, I was just like inspired. I was inspired by like you guys, and then like I had good material to work with, and then it was just like the perfect kind of like hijinks to like write to.
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
people were like talking about it at Warp Tour. They were like, "Oh, you guys made the
Really?
diss track!" Like, yeah,
Oh man, good. Yeah, I need to listen to it again. It's been a while. I haven't listened to it since it came out. I need to listen to it again.
yeah. If we want to make another one, would you guys be down to diss us back?
Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely. We'll
All
start
right.
it. We'll do a diss track for you guys. That'll be it.
Oh,
That'll be it.
okay.
Yeah. But
Heck yeah, dude.
now I guess well for anyone who watches this who didn't know, the beef between Two Brothers and Plan Your Escape was all bullshit. So now they know. And, so but let's just bring that joke back because I missed it. It was
Yeah,
so
dude.
funny.
It's
And
entertaining.
it was. And the reason I did that initially, I remember it too. Oh my God, it was so funny. Because I started it with Clifford. Like I took him, so I was like, okay, Clifford, I hate you now. And he's like, cool. And I remember it was at some show at Gamut's Art Center. And I remember just dogging him out and just leaving. And people were like, what was going on? And then Two Brothers made some stupid Facebook post. And oh my God, it's so funny. But it was like, it like stirred the pot and like it got people interested in the scene again for that little time. And that was what was cool about it. It was a stupid way of doing it, but it got people interested again. And then it died out. Now it's still dead, but it was worth a shot.
It was a beautiful time.
Yeah. So let's bring it back today.
Heck yeah, dude.
Today, I say let's bring it back. Here we go.
Yeah, we're gonna try and just murmur. I want to like.
Oh,
I need to.
please. If you don't, I will.
You should too. Like.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, if you make a track, let me be on the track. That'd be so funny.
All right, dude, that's pretty perfect.
and Clifford, because Clifford was once in Murmur.
Yeah,
it'd be so funny to have him on it and just.
Yeah, dude. And then it's gonna be Josh like dissing Josh.
Oh yes.
So it's just like some like band inception going on.
Oh and yeah, I am so down. That would be great.
Okay.
Yeah, that we always two brothers wanted to start dissing on Murmur, which would be funny because not only am I in both bands, but so is Dylan. He plays bass in both bands too. So basically, Murmur is just a different two brothers now. And we wanted to start beef between those two bands to see if anyone even knew.
Dude, this is beautiful. If we
we
all do this, like
just like a bunch of like concentrated, focused, sarcastic shit talking. It'll be hilarious. Yeah.
Heck yeah. All right. This is good, dude. I'm fired up right now.
Yeah.
What I'm interested to hear about your creative process because like you're one of like the most like skilled people I know, like TBH.
Stop it, you.
No, dude, it's like it's a trip sometimes. It's like, dang, he's really good. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm good at faking it. No, thank you. I appreciate that. Very flattering. So, creative process with like songwriting and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's pretty interesting.
Okay.
So with two brothers, it's such a trip because we try not to really write stuff outside, like on our own, and bring it together. It is like a collaborative process, but usually I have an initial idea, just like a match to kind of start the flame, the fire, and so with that, then we go like, okay, where can this go to? And we usually write the music first, and then I'll work some lyricism over that, and then we kind of change the music on top of that, and then we'll record it and listen and change on it. It's like it's a process, but it's definitely not just me. It is of course both Dylan and Robert. It would not be the same without them. If one of them left the band is done. There's no replacing either of those two. They are essential for that band.
Yeah, you guys are all like really unique. Like it's a trip how, and then it all like blends together the way it does. So like did that collaborative effort, is that how you guys have always done it, or did it kind of morph into this? That's
how I've known both of those fools for so long, and we've all been in like separate bands with like one or the other, or even together and with other members, and it just never went anywhere. And I finally realized, okay, that guy's a flake, that guy sucks, that guy's a flake. And I was like, okay, Dylan and Robert, like, you guys are down, like, let's finally do this. And so it's always been a collaborative thing with them. I've been playing music with them just together for so long. I lived with Dylan in Hollywood. We went to MI together, and we would write like literal 40-minute songs together just in our apartment. And I lived with Robert after that in Ojai for a long time, and we would jam all the time on his electric kit, and then like getting both of them together, we've been playing music together for a long time, and Two Brothers was like the first serious take on what we could do all together.
Yeah, dude, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's cool how like we have these certain people in our lives that it's like, yeah, I definitely feel you, just kind of these are the two that this is like where it resonates. Like these are the two that it like it's like it clicks with, and then
Yeah.
like it feels so good. Like it's just kind of like the electricity and the chemistry that happens because like it's so important to get like the vibes right.
I completely agree, and not to say certain people vibe with certain people, but I do think that energy is definitely enhanced over time too. Because like both Dylan and Robert, like even if I didn't play music with them, they're still like my best friends of all time. Like I would do anything for them, and and having that connection while we're playing music, like we just have, I feel like we have a good understanding of each other, and because of that, like, and that just good energy between all of us, I feel like that really adds up into our sound as well, just like on an emotional level too.
Yeah, dude, that's that's so important to have around you. Like, and it makes creating like something else. Like it gives it a little magic.
Exactly. Like people ask me like, oh, what's your favorite Two Brothers song? And there's I cannot do that because each song is so important to me, because I remember writing those with them. I remember every single song with them, and it was always so much fun. And just like an awesome process each song. There's no way I could pick a favorite.
Yeah. When I have another songwriting question. So like when you guys are like fleshing out the song, how do you know like what's what stays? Like if like the riff like sounds good, it's like okay, this is the riff. Or like how much like do you guys experiment?
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, we definitely get weird, and that's the thing. We try to, like, we have a song where Dylan plays saxophone, and then we have a song where we kind of like go into like our 8-bit little video game sounds, and we try to do different things for each song and not reuse that same thing too, because like we have one saxophone song, and like Dylan can play saxophone on any of those songs, rips at it, but it's nice to have just that one saxophone song, because that is what makes that song stick out, is because of that. So we definitely try to give each song its own little personality, um, without reusing a different idea from another song, which can be difficult at times, because there's only so many ideas you can do with just three guys, but we're still having fun. So it's just, and also, we're always, at least I can speak for myself, I'm always learning new stuff, always, whether it is for music or for recording or cooking or gardening or working out or all this stuff that I'm interested in. And I feel like my growth and knowledge expands what I can do, therefore more possibilities with different ways to make things sound different and feel different. So
Yeah, that's really important too, is always constantly growing. Like do you feel like every day you're better than the day before?
Absolutely. Yeah. I just I'm always trying to like find a new rule to break, honestly. Like I just want
Yeah.
like something, or like something that doesn't sound good in a good way. Like if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude, those nasty grooves, like the
Yeah, just something, yeah,
like it's
yeah, something, yeah, makes you go like, oh, like you smelled something today. Like, oh, like
yeah.
that. So
Or my homie Tori, he said, "Come listen to jazz that makes your face look like you licked a lemon."
yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's like that's a great compliment. If you listen to a song, you're like, oh, like
Yeah.
that, good song. You never not mean that. You can't fake that. So yeah, I'm always trying to find, like, at least with what I can do melodically and rhythmically, I'm trying to find new ways to make it different yet also accessible. Like I could write these crazy things in bars of 13 and 7 and whatever, but I also want you to be able to tap your toes as well. So there's a fine line between technicality and accessibility for me that I'm always on the hunt for. If you can write a song that's catchy in 5, then you did good. That's like Pink Floyd, Bad Money. That's in 7. That's in 7/4, I think, and nobody even knows what that means, but it's in a weird little progressive time signature, and it got on the radio. Yes, you did it. Thank you. So things like that. I'm always trying to find the next way to make something artsy also something achievable, I guess, or just, accepted.
Do you like writing in like 7 and 13 and stuff like that?
Oh,
Like,
oh yes. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah. It's always, because for me, when I hear an interesting rhythm like that, my brain immediately focuses on it, because I'm like, what on earth is going on? Like, it's hard for me to just kind of like tune out something that's going on and just crazy rhythms and stuff,
right.
or scales too, just like anything that's dynamic, whether it be melodically dynamic or volume or dissonance and consonance or rhythmic, anything that's just dynamic in any way, my brain is gonna be like, whoa, what is that change? That's something different. If it's something like elevator music, my brain can just immediately just turn it off. I don't even think about it. So that's why I enjoy writing just complicated stuff like that, because it's hard to not focus on for me. But I also, like I said, I want it achievable, and I want to get like something that you could hum and still like have stuck in your head, something catchy too. So
Have you heard of
that.
have you heard of a band called Two Door Cinema Club?
Oh yes, I have, and I love that band. Yes, yeah.
I think they got a song, it's in like 5.
I think I know what you're talking about. Man, I wish I had my iPod.
Yeah,
I
I
had
mean,
all their stuff on my iPod back in the day. Yeah, I love that band.
cool. Yeah, they're freaking groovy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, good. Like, yeah, like awesome, like artsy indie rock, like just good. And they do it for like the cool sake of, I feel like, what is the art of music, which is pretty fun.
Yeah. Do you think um what's attractive about having this like dynamic range, like some like having like really cool scales, or like being able to play in like these signatures? Like I know like our ears like pick it up,
Hmm.
and I think it like, I don't know, like when I'm like counting in 7, it's like just like the concentration that I need. It's like a meditation kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
do you?
Yeah, it's just like ultimate focus that you need, because I feel like our brains are so programmed to like just Western music, things in four, and things that are just in some natural major, natural minor. It's we've heard it so many times, and like that is what's normal for us. When really there are worlds of other music out there, and so it's pretty cool for me to hear something different, because I know what I've been programmed to like. Like I
Whoa.
know what that normal is, and I know what that normal doesn't sound like too. So it's kind of cool to hear something just different, because that's like a true good expression of something. That's something artistic, I feel like. Not to say things in four or things in natural major or minor aren't artistic. You can definitely do some awesome stuff with it too. But it's cool to hear people venture outside of that as well.
Yeah, dude. What kinds of scales do you like?
Okay. You're getting, yeah, this is a good one. So
Yeah, dude.
so I used to really like, there's a Lydian Mixolydian scale, which is a cool mesh of two different church modes. Basically, it's a Lydian scale with the sharp 4, but the Mixolydian flat 7. If that makes any sense, that's cool. But so
Yeah.
that one was pretty fun. There was a jazz album that I played mandolin on that actually was in a Lydian Mixolydian scale, and it was pretty fun. But honestly, I've broken away from just like thinking of scales. I like to think of just individual notes and how they tie together with one another, and whether that fits in a scale or not. That's like when it comes to jazz and stuff. It's really like, what can you get away with these notes that we have? Because our chromatic scale, we only have 11 different notes, and so it's cool to pair those up in just almost infinite ways. It's amazing. And so it's fun to think, like, it's awesome to think of scales, but it's also fun to think of scales working with other chords and arpeggios, and melding all these different things into one awesome song. So,
Do you have a favorite chord?
ooh, do I have a favorite chord? Oh,
Mine is
wow, you're
F
doing
major 7.
F major 7. That's a classic. That's like classic Lydian. So, one that I like, an F major sharp 11. I think that's what it is. So, if you played an F chord on guitar, like an F bar chord, but you just played the open B and E strings, that's like super Lydian sounding and like reminds me of Zelda. That one's pretty cool. But then you move that up a fret and you get an F sharp dominant 11th, I think. Yeah, you get a dominant 11th, and that thing is pretty cool too, because that's super like weird bluesy kind of sound. I don't know. There's so many cool chords out there, and how they, like I said, I like how like F major 7 is awesome, but F major 7 sounds even cooler when you do like a G sharp major 7 with it too. And you're like, whoa, like where
Mm.
that makes that F major 7 sound even cooler now because the chord that was right after it. So
Yeah.
it's just
So
how they all relate together.
do you think in guitar when with music?
I think in guitar and I think in mandolin. Those are like the two main instruments that I played for a long time. I play a bunch of other ones, but um, guitar and mandolin. Mandolin was my very first instrument, and so doing that helped
Yeah.
me. And that's kind of cool because the way the strings are related to each other makes a lot more sense than guitar. Guitar gets a little tricky with some of the strings, but mandolin's
Okay.
pretty easy. It's just they're all fifths from each other, so that's
Yeah.
kind of helpful. But I've just been everyone wants me to play guitar for them, so I've been playing guitar for a long time too, and so I do think in shapes on guitar as well.
Yeah, like I'm curious to hear about your like music brain. Like, so when you built that, I think it was a F sharp dominant something with the
Yeah,
like how
sharp
did you
dominant 11.
yeah, F sharp dominant 11. How did you build that in your head? Like,
So that's an awesome question. So I
yeah.
thought of because what it is that it's that F sharp bar chord that you do on the second fret. Where you bar the second fret, you play that F sharp, and then it's got the open B and E string. And I know that E is the minor seventh of F sharp. I know that B is the fourth, or also known as the 11th of F sharp. So I just kind of and I base that off of where they are on the guitar neck, actually, because I know where F sharp is, and I know where E is. I know that. I know where B is to F sharp. So it is based off of the guitar neck, I would say, yeah. And then I just
Wow.
know what intervals are what with to each other, so I can just kind of piece them together.
Yeah. But you figure out the intervals looking at a guitar neck like and your fingers instead of like thinking about it in like sheet music, right?
Yeah, no, I hate sheet music. I'm so bad at reading sheet music. Uh, hate's a strong word, but I definitely mean it. I hate reading. I hate reading sheet music. Uh, it's I am just not good at it. That's all, and I hate things I'm not good at. So uh, yeah, I just honestly I've never needed to read sheet music, so it was never a thing in my musical background. Like I just never needed to, so I never got good at it, and I still have never needed to know it really. So yeah, I do think of them on like especially with guitar because fourths those are just right next to each other on the fretboards. Fifth that's two frets up on the next string. So there are a little. I think of shapes like that, and I do think of shapes on a staff like that.
Heck yeah, dude. Wow. You're opening up my music brain.
Yeah, yeah, trying, yeah.
What do you have any questions for me or
We'll see. You answer. I'm curious in the hip hop that you're doing. That should be.
yeah.
Because you're a talented man, and I am very excited. Well, I mean, well, so Plan Your Escape, you guys released that EP, and I need to. Man, I bought a CD, and I have yet to get it, but it's okay. I'm not mad at you.
Oh,
Uh, I just need to actually hit up Josh, be like, dude, you suck. Give me my CD. But
yeah. I can come drop it off. Where are you at?
I'm in Ventura.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm in Oxnard. Yeah,
Well,
we'll link up. Maybe I can just drop it off
yeah,
real
we'll
quick.
figure. It out. But are you guys doing anything musical right now, or? What's the deal with that?
Yeah, we're planning these diss tracks, and then
Oh, that's right. Okay,
and then we're talking about maybe doing some covers for like YouTube and stuff, like trying to figure out
okay,
ways to collaborate right now and put out content. So
cool.
yeah, we're like thinking about doing that. We were planning on doing a music video with Colin this month, actually,
Uh,
probably like this weekend or something like that. But
cool.
yeah, dude. So then the
Yeah,
COVID-19 happened.
yeah. He was. Yeah, Colin was working on one for Murmur as well, and then
Yeah,
we're in the same boat. Yeah, it just wasn't worth it. So, you seem healthy.
yeah,
I safe to assume, and everyone you know is healthy.
yeah, dude. I'm so freaking grateful.
Yeah,
What about you?
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So everyone around me is healthy, which is pretty nice. I did have a friend whose dad passed away, which that was crazy. That was like an
dang.
awakening thing for me, where I was like, "Oh man, this is real. Like this is an actual thing." Because I mean, just being me, I don't know. I heard a lot of things, and it didn't really ever like settle until it actually got into my actual world. Where like, okay, I actually know someone who passed away from this. So then it got real, and so I started getting pretty cautious about it. So, but
Yeah, it kind of shocks like awareness into us.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's an unfortunate thing, but
Yeah,
the
dude.
silver lining is, yeah, now I am pretty cautious about it, and
Cool.
hopefully that works out for my benefit in that
Oh yeah,
sense.
dude.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so yeah. We got as long as we just like keep like washing our hands and stuff, and we'll be
Yeah,
good.
exactly. And yeah, the whole that's the thing. Like a lot of people aren't as conscious of the whole social distancing thing, and I get it. I see like it's not to they're not trying to be jerks. It's just saying like, hey, don't do this. So you don't spread it because it's so contagious, and it makes sense. And just the statistics about how many outbreaks we've had in California compared to other places when like we've really been taking care of it, and it actually shows that California's actually been doing pretty good about it. So
Yeah,
uh,
dude. That's trip.
mhm. So it's good. It's a silver lining. It's good to see that we are taking care of it. But in the long run, I mean, the whole thing sucks, and hopefully, it just passes soon.
Do you do any like what kind of workouts do you do?
Okay. This is. Did I ever tell you about the car accident that I was in?
Uh I think so.
Yeah, I
You
ran over,
wanna you
and
say that again?
I got ran over by a car,
Dang, dude.
and I broke like all of my bones, and I have a bunch of titanium in my body and stuff. And before that happened, I was a gymnastics coach at the Ohio Rec Center.
Whoa.
So I was downstairs in the gymnasium, and upstairs was the weight room where my very good friend Gary Ryan, he had the weight room, and I never really worked out up there, but I always knew Gary because he was upstairs. And I end up being hospitalized and stuff for a while, and a lot of surgeries, blah blah blah. I finally get home, uh, and every Friday, my friend Gary would take me outside to go because I was stuck inside of my wheelchair for the whole week. So he would take me out to go do things, and we would hang out. And as he would give me bands and things to work out with while I could, or with what I could with my body and everything. And as soon as I could walk, I started going to his gym and working out with him and getting stronger, and it just have been ever since, really. But I do a lot of strength conditioning. That's like my main focus. But we try to when we work out, we try to really do something different every time. Like, well, what did we do last week? Oh, we did that. Let's try this week because that. So it's just overall health. That's what I try to focus on. Whether it's like strength or conditioning, cardio, whether it's upper body or legs or my core, just something. I just try to be active all the time.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I do like YouTube workouts. Like I'll look up like somebody doing like I don't know like a morning workout, like 10-minute morning workout or something.
yeah.
Or lately I've been watching these like 3 really buff cholos like working out in like a it's like lockdown or something because we're like locked down. So he's like, I feel like I'm back in the joint. Like,
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, there you go. Cool. Yeah. Well, I need to get back into yoga. I was in yoga for a while, and that was always fun. A good friend of mine, he was very into yoga. Um, Paul Masvidal, he's a guitarist. He's been in a lot of cool bands. He was like back in the '90s. He was in a lot of cool death metal bands like Cynic and Death. He was in those, and I remember
cool.
he lived in Ojai for a while, and he actually was working out with me. It was like amazing. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, what the like that meeting him was so crazy because I worked at this pizza place. And I was riding my bike across the street after work, and I was wearing this band Opeth. I was wearing this Opeth shirt. This guy on this other bike was like, cool Opeth shirt. I was like, whoa, what? Do you know this band? Like, nobody listens to this in Ojai. This is crazy. And we're just talking, and I was like, this cat looks so familiar. Who is this? And I asked him, like, who are you? He's like, oh, my name's Paul Masvidal. I was in this band. And I literally, like I was like an excited dog. I dropped my stuff and I ran in a circle. I don't know.
What?
That was my default mode. It's like, like I was just like amazed. And then I was just like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I love your music. And so I thought that was super cool. And then like a month later, my friend Gary was like, oh yeah, some gentleman's going to start working out with us. I forget his name. And I remember getting there in the morning. I was like, oh my God, it's Paul fucking Masvidal. This is crazy. And he was working out with us for a while. This is when, it was so funny. I was roommates with Robert at the time. And I told Robert, he loves his music too. And I was like, dude, Robert, I swear, I'm working out with Paul Masvidal. This is amazing. He's like, whoa, that's crazy. He's like, I mean, I've been thinking about working out too. I was like, yeah, right. You just want to meet me. I remember, like, I told him, I was Robert, okay, you can work out with us, but be cool. Like, I'm sure he hears it all the time. Like, just leave him alone. And I remember Robert was doing sit-ups. And it was quiet, but not in an awkward way. It's just everyone was working out. But Robert broke the silence, and he's like, so how was it playing guitar in Death? Like, Robert, no, dude. Like, come on, play it cool. And yeah, but it was pretty fun.
What did he say?
He was super cool about it. He was willing to answer any question that Robert had to ask. And he was such a cool guy. I remember he is a Buddhist, which I'm not saying like all Buddhists are cool, but every Buddhist I've met's been cool. And I remember he hit me up. He's like, hey, I'm in town. You want to go get coffee? I do. This is when my son was maybe a year old. I was like, I have my kid with me. Like, is that okay? He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I remember he met my son, and he was like blown away. He's like, this is the coolest baby I've ever met. Like, and he was explaining in Buddhism, like the whole reincarnation aspect of everything. He's like, this baby like picked you, and he thought my son was like so special and everything. I was like, wow, this is very cool to hear. Thank you. It was a very enlightening moment.
Wow, dude, this baby picked you.
In Buddhist eyes, yeah, my son chose me, and I guess that's pretty cool. I mean, he's a cool guy, so I like him.
Yeah, dude, are you into Buddhism? Like, you have other Buddhist friends?
I'm very into theology. I'm very interested in just how the human brain develops these ideas of just theisms in general. And it's super interesting how all of them have very similar moralities, but very different upbringings and stuff, and little minor details. So I'm very respectful to all of them, and I really want to know about all of them. And so it's very cool. I've been to a handful of Buddhist ceremonies. It's very interesting because there's a lot of food involved, and everyone is very respectful, very peaceful ceremonies. But I have friends who are Hindu as well. I have Muslim friends and Christian friends. I don't think any of it makes anyone a bad person. It's super interesting to hear just the different ideologies behind all of them. I'm very interested in that.
Yeah, I resonate with that. I like to just like, I don't know, like something will like catch my eye or my ear or like my brain about a certain kind of belief, and it's like, oh, like this makes so much sense. Like, and then I just like incorporate that in like the collective of like
Yeah, exactly. And you kind of like, for lack of a better term, you pick and choose what you agree with, and you kind of just form your own self from it. It's very, very nice.
Yeah, it's like some kind of Frankenstein.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some big, ugly, like molded creature that you call your morality now. It's based off of everything else.
The Birth by lightning or something.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, I just had a question for you too. Yeah. Oh, what kind of music have you been listening to lately?
Oh, cool. The Lately I've been listening to I just have Dance Gavin Dance on in the YouTube window right behind you. And then like and I've been listening to like Shaka Khan and Tina Marie, like
Yeah.
80s like dance, like pop
Yeah,
stuff.
like that's man, because soul is so interesting. Because like when you think like the 50s and 60s, you had that Motown. 70s, you were kind of getting into like cool Marvin Gaye, which also went in the 80s. You have that 80s soul night. Like each generation, each decade has its own kind of like definitive like soul sound. It's so interesting, and I feel like as of recently, there's been like a renaissance period for soul music as of lately, which has been pretty cool to listen to. So, and yeah, Chaka Khan, bless that lady. Yeah, I love Chaka Khan. So very, very cool. Good for you. But back on Dance Gavin Dance, what's your favorite Dance Gavin Dance album?
Oh, favorite album? Oh, dude, probably Mothership.
Oh, okay. That new stuff. I see. Because
Yeah.
Happiness for me, hands down, Happiness. I love the guitar work. It's so funky. Whoop, there you go. I love that album. But
Yeah.
Mothership also awesome too. So
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, that one's like it's so groovy and it's like
oh, yeah,
it's a trip. Like it's so like different. Like I don't know,
yeah. Yeah, that's
'cause
what I always
yeah.
ask albums for that band because each album has like a just a whole new lineup, and so and because of that, each one's got its own little kind of flavor to it. Um, so definitely,
Yeah.
yeah,
How about
that's like a get to know you question.
were you gonna say more about your car accident?
Oh,
Or did we finish? Like I feel like there's
well,
something.
you had asked me what kind of workouts I did, and so I had to go back and like how I started working out was through
Oh,
that car, and then
but okay.
that's
Okay.
mhm.
Yeah. Like it's
Go
I want to
yeah.
hear about how that transformed you because I mean that sounds like I don't know, just like a very like a I don't know, a traumatic thing that could happen to somebody.
Pretty pretty eye-opening because I don't remember anything of the accident at all. I don't remember getting hit or anything, and I had lost my short-term memory for a while I was in the hospital because I was in a coma for about a month or two, and so I couldn't form new memories. And so I'd wake up and be like, "Oh my God, where the heck am I? Ow! Why does my whole body hurt?" And I guess I have two fake teeth. I knocked out some of my teeth, and that was like the buckling point for me. Where I was like, "Oh my God, I'm missing teeth. I'm hideous."
Oh,
And then I would cry and fall asleep, and then I'd wake up and do it all over again. Oh, where am I? My
what
teeth.
the
I'm
heck?
hideous. And then like and so I remember doing that, but I don't know if that was like the first one or one of the many. Um,
Dang.
and then I remember a handful of people visiting me in the hospital. I remember my little sister fainting. That was pretty funny. I remember another friend of mine fainting, also equally funny.
Why did they
I
faint?
remember it's just like overwhelming, I guess, because they would see me and there's just like there's all kinds of blood and everything and all these machines beeping and stuff. I guess I don't know, so they couldn't hang and so they just they'd faint. Uh, I remember being at this rehab center in Oxnard and it was so huge and they were doing construction and it was just this enigma and I remember like everyone would get lost trying to find the room. And I remember my friend wheeling me down the hallway to go to either physical therapy or occupational therapy, one of the many therapies I was on. And I remember she was wheeling me back. She's like, "Hey, I've been to your room so many times. I finally figured out how not to get lost. And so let's go around." And we were going around. She was wheeling me around, and she's like, "Oh crap, I'm lost." And I remember like I was like all tired and just withered away in this wheelchair. Like I just want to lay down. And we were just terribly lost in this giant hospital. Um, but I don't really remember too many things of the hospital. But the whole thing is just crazy, just because I don't remember any of it. And just like that, like I was dead. My heart stopped beating and stuff. And it's pretty interesting to know that you'll never know when you're gonna die. It could just right now a plane could come crashing down. That's it. Or you just fall asleep and there's some gas leak or something. It's just so because of that, it's just I feel like that's been inspiring for me to do the things that I do. I try to like always learn how to bake some new bread or learn a new scale or try to incorporate this or try to work this muscle out, and I try to learn about the body. And so I try to be very mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually active. I know I'm not sure if it is because of that or not, but I like to think so.
Oh yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
there's a definite shift in the way that you went about life, like before and after.
I like to think so. I mean, I was I was like 16 when that happened, so that is like around that time. I mean, the human is changing at that time too. So I don't know if that changed my mentality at all, or if it was just the time of who I was. I don't know what it was. I can't really pinpoint anything, but
Mm.
I do think that was definitely a learning experience.
Oh
It's
yeah, dude.
pretty it is pretty crazy. So it's just it's like I said, I just that is who I am. I just like to just be as active as I can in every way. I want to know it all. I want to be able to do it all right
Heck yeah.
now. So,
What kinds of stuff do you do for your spirituality?
I love meditating. I love meditating.
Yeah.
Um, and so, I mean, just with the different kinds of meditations you can do as well. In fact, okay, so this is I am currently rewatching The Last Airbender,
Yeah.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. Oh, I just bought it on DVD. I loved that show. But there's this whole segment where he's doing these chakra meditations and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, I haven't done a good chakra balancing meditation in a long time. So, um, and then also previously stated, just my research with theology in general, with any idea of religion and where it stands and what it believes in. I'm pretty interested in.
What how do you meditate? Do you go like sit in silence? Is like do you have a certain spot or do you just kind of like take it when you need it?
So I am a firm believer in the idea of grounding. That is a whole idea of being barefoot and actually touching the earth. And there's been some studies that show that you're electrically grounded to the earth and stuff, and that's beneficial. So the rubber soles in your shoes actually reject that electric signal that the earth has, and so when you're barefoot, you actually accept it. And there's been studies that show it help with a lot of inflammation and stuff. So I like to actually be grounded. I like to pick somewhere outside, and there is one spot in Ohio. There's like this little river bottom that there's like one specific rock that I like to sit down on. And anytime I'm in Ohio, I try to pick there and I just try to meditate. And it's nice because it's away from the road. It's not completely silent because it's got this river, little creek trickling down, and and that helps me a lot too. Having that constant noise, just kind of like the om kind of thing. Having that, but more of like a natural sound that I'm not producing. It's actually just the river itself. So having that helps my brain have something to focus on, actually get into a more meditative state.
Yeah, dude. That's really beautiful. You're reminding me of I want to tell you a cool little story, like a cool
Wait,
insight that happened. I was hiking in Thousand Oaks, Paradise Falls, and
yeah,
it was like a waterfall and like a river. And I remember it was the summer, so it was nice and warm outside. And I found like I wanted to follow the river, but there was like a fence blocking it off. So then I decided to like go around the fence and kind of like almost like hang on the wall for a little bit kind of thing to like get to like the another like non-path. And then
Yeah.
like so I'm like going through this like rocky like riverbed kind of thing, and I find like a beautiful spot where there's like a lot of little waterfalls, and I sit down and I close my eyes, and then I kind of just like tune in and take it all in. And then I came up with like my mind started to try and visualize where all of the little waterfalls were, just like based on like the
Yeah.
sound. So it felt like a kind of like a mixing meditation, like just like hearing where
Cool.
the
Yeah.
sounds are in the space.
And
Yeah.
yeah, having that like sonic location of like just based off the sound where you can actually like pinpoint its actual like location. That's pretty interesting. Cool. I like
Yeah,
that.
dude. uh
But yeah, so I'm guessing you like to meditate as well.
oh yeah. I love I love meditating. Sometimes I'll
Yeah.
do like YouTube meditations, like guided
Mhm.
meditations. And then
Mhm.
I like to sit in silence. Like whenever there's a quiet moment, I'll like literally just
Mhm.
like sit down on like my floor real quick and really like take it in.
I used to do that when I lived with Joshua Valencia. I remember like I got him into it. I was like, hey, come with me. I'm gonna make you some green tea. We're gonna sit in this room together and just focus on just your breath. Just focus on your breathing. And we used to do that like every day for a while. I got him into meditating, and I don't know if he
Yeah.
kept up with it, but I remember after a while he's like, all right, this is pretty nice. Like, and whether you have any spiritual belief behind the meditation or not, you cannot deny the fact that just absolutely relaxing yourself and focusing like that is beneficial for you. Whether there's any energy behind it or not, just the fact that your body's going through that is beneficial. So
Yeah, there's so many benefits. It's
mhm.
like good for it like make I think it makes us sharper, and like it just kind of
Yeah,
makes life easier. Like it feels like at least in like my case, it makes me feel like just like things get easier and things kind of like fall into place a little more, and it's like I don't know, like sharper is a good word for me. Like
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, just more focused
Yeah.
and clear for me. Yeah, it's just like I get, I just my temper isn't as short with things. Like I don't get it's like, oh, what the hell? Like can actually like deal with things better. I just have like yes, a clearer mind, definitely. And so, like I said, whether that's from anything cosmic or spiritual, or just the fact that my actual body is just getting that focus and relaxation, either way, I feel like it's good for me.
Oh yeah, dude. You know who oh man, Russell Simmons is?
Hmm.
He's like
Definitely.
yeah, he's like the owner of Def Jam, right? Or something like that.
I think so. Yeah. Or one of the starters of that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he started it with Rick Rubin. He
Mhm.
was the OG.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he does yoga and meditates every day.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Yeah. Like there's stories of a lot of celebrities of how they meditated and focus that energy, and that was what helped them become to the stance that they are now, which that is. But it's cool to hear little anecdotes like that for sure.
Yeah. Who are do you have any like musicians that you look up to that inspire you?
So many. Oh man. So holy smokes, where do we start? Man, so like, cause like I've been playing music for a while and a
Yeah.
lot of different music for a long time. So when I first started playing music, it was the mandolin and it was jazz music. It was gypsy swing jazz. So Django Reinhardt and Stefan Grappelli, they were these French musicians from the 40s and 30s. Those guys, awesome. That's like incredibly inspiring. Uh, and when it so on the whole jazz thing, Wes Montgomery as a jazz guitarist absolutely amazing and completely underrated with what he did. Let's see, holy smokes. Well,
So you're
then, so
super
with
like jazz
mandolin,
influenced, right?
that comes with like, oh man, well, I definitely, yes, I have a lot of influences in jazz just because that was like some of the first music I started playing thanks to my father. Charlie Parker, of course. I mean, he just, jeez Louise, yeah, he just did everything. He was amazing. But then with mandolin, oh man, so that you get like cool bluegrass, which the later revival of it was called newgrass, which was a little bit more musical. You have David Grisman, who's like the grandfather, and Sam Bush. You have Mike Marshall, and then the deity, the god known as Chris Thile. Oh my goodness gracious, he might be my favorite musician. He's part of the Punch Brothers, but he's also he won the MacArthur Genius Grant. He's incredible. So that's for mandolin. Oh man, Andy Stratman's cool too, though. Okay, but then you get into like punk and like Greg Ginn from Black Flag, and like all the hardcore stuff. You get into like Kurt Ballou from Converge, which that band absolutely incredible. You get Ian MacKaye from Fugazi. That band is amazing for me too. And Minor Threat. Holy smokes, Thomas Arak from The Fall of Troy. The fact like what he can do, what he can sing and play at the same time was exactly why I started Two Brothers. Like I drove
Whoa.
all the way to Texas. Yeah. I drove to Texas to see The Fall of Troy play for one night. And just what I saw was the most amazing show I'd ever seen. Like I have to be in a band. That was too amazing. And that's why I started. Like that's what a big part of me wanting to start Two Brothers was seeing that band live that way. It was absolutely amazing.
Dude, I was obsessed with them in high school. Like just like
Yeah,
the songs on repeat.
I
That
could I have so much stuff of theirs like that band. Like it's because that was like an introduction for um just post-hardcore for me, like that, where I was like, wow, you can have that cool hardcore sound but actually have like cool musicality behind it. And so listening to them, I was like,
yeah.
what on earth is crazy? And this their use of rhythms. Another guitar influence would be Nick Reinhardt from Terra Mellos. That man is the best with pedals, hands down. Nobody, he has like every pedal and he uses every pedal. It is absolutely amazing.
Nick what?
Reinhardt, Reinhardt, I think, from Terra Mellos, Teramelos. That band, perfect band. I love everything that band's ever done. But then Tim Collis from TTNG, that guy, he just plays the most beautiful, intricate things. Oh, Josh Martin from Little Tybee, he's the best guitarist in the world. There's no way. He plays. He's the only guitarist I can think of that still creates new techniques. He still thinks of new ways to play that instrument. But man, I try to listen to a lot of music, a lot of different kinds of music, and I try to find a new band every day. And so
Wow.
it's hard. Like I have some favorites, but I don't know if any of them influence me in that sense. Where like I'm like I want to play like that. It's more like it's just like something you're like, wow, that was awesome. I want to make my own song. Like I want something like I don't know. I don't know how to quite explain. I don't know how to play many covers or anything. It's just all like I'll hear a song and like there's like a certain way of notes or pattern or something that pushes me to think of something, but never in the way where I want to sound like them. I don't know how, it's very interesting to explain it, but there's so many just talented musicians out there. It's hard for me to just pick just a handful. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, it's
But
kind of like you see what's possible and like there's just like a certain feeling. It's like, whoa, like this is
mhm.
like this is something special that now I know like I have this kind of like collecting ingredients. Like you just collected a new spice that
Exactly. Yeah. And you put it in your spice rack. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh man, you just said I got dried mustard and it's the same thing. I'm like, yes, like I can do it. Like this is it. It's official. Oh man. Uh, so Yeah, there's just so much music out there. Like
Yeah,
I could show you my CD collection right now. Let me show you
yeah,
this.
please.
So like, bam, bam, bam. There's just so many of them. I
Wow.
have like, I can't even show you all of them, but like there's like thousands. So I have so many CDs. I just love collecting music and listening to music and finding new music, and because everyone's trying to just do the new thing, and it's cool to see where that new thing's going.
Mm. Are you into classical music?
Love, love, love classical music. Yes.
Yeah, dude. Like what kind of composers are you into? I really like Chopin and Brahms.
Chopin, yeah, and Bach and all that stuff. I like the more later stuff. Xenakis, how do you pronounce that? That's some wild stuff.
Xenakis.
Yeah, it's Xenakis. I believe he's German. That is some nightmare music. But then I just like Gustav Holst. He did the planets, and he wrote
Oh
wrote a
yeah.
song for Planet. And I like to think that some Mars, the Bringer of War by Gustav Holst, has the first breakdown in it. And
Hmm.
I would be so lonely, but so aggressive in that mosh pit with that song. Oh my God, such a nasty breakdown in it. But then yeah, Stravinsky and the Rites of Spring, or the Rite of Spring, and so there's just so many awesome. So I like the more later
Yeah.
side of classical music, just because now they started really like pushing that weird sonic envelope. But don't like, I mean, of course, there's like Beethoven and Mozart and all. It's like you couldn't have had all that newer stuff without that stuff happening first too. So
I saw an opera. Oh man, I can't remember what it was called. It's by this dude named Bartok. And
yeah,
he yeah. Oh man, I wish I could remember. I think it was like Bluebeard's Castle. And then
okay,
I don't know if that's it.
interesting.
So yeah, but it was a trip, dude, because it's like atonal at times.
Hmm.
So it's just
Yeah,
really like, I don't know, like unsettling. It's a good word. Like it's like
exactly.
something trippy in the air. It's like, whoa.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's weird. It's just like these just random frequencies colliding, and that is a perfect word, atonal, and it's just this ultimate dissonance because it's not even like,
Ultimate dissonance.
yeah, it's just nothing fits at all. It's pretty fun. But then going into that ultimate consonance where you're like, oh, ooh, just a good fresh breath of air where you finally know where the hell you are now. Yeah, love that stuff.
Yeah. So you made me think about music and like a philosophy. Like I believe that like in life we have like dissonant times, and then like it leads to like consonant like
It
resolutions
leads
and
to constant. That's yeah. Every single problem I've ever witnessed or ever had has only been temporary.
mm,
All of them, and it's all. But then again, that's the thing is any pleasure I've ever experienced too is only temporary. So everything is just by the moment. That is who we are. Is right now.
wow.
So
Yeah, it's just part of the song.
exactly. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and so that's why music's cool because I feel like everything on this planet makes noise, whether it's us breathing or a bird chirping or someone's footsteps or clothes moving or keys being put down. Everything is making a noise and none of it means anything, except music is the only source of sound that is directed to inspire or create emotion, and that is created from literally nothing. It starts out as nothing, and we actually create this energy in order to for that purpose. And so it's pretty interesting, and it's kind of cool to see or
Yeah,
hear.
it comes from like a formless place. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, dude, it's like it's like it's definitely spiritual, just the
Yeah,
way it kind of like radiates out. I don't know, like
yeah,
if you ever like when you pick up a mandolin or a guitar, and it's just like, whoa, like the sound is like the color coming off of a flower. Like I don't know if that
yeah,
makes sense, but
yeah. It's yeah, no, like there's almost like like a physicality to it because you have this potential energy just sitting there, and it's finally kinetic. We finally play that chord or that melody, and it's finally out into this physical world for literally fractions of a second to just be transposed as heat. That's all it becomes. It becomes heat, which becomes sweat, which comes into the air, which turns into rain, which turns into grass, which deer eat, and then we eat the deer, and it's just this like it's just amazing. Like it literally never ends. But it starts with us playing that chord or playing whatever it is. So
Yeah. Do you think like what do you think about music being healing?
oh, absolutely. Well, that's because like I said, it creates emotion, or like there is feeling behind it. Like you can listen to something and you tie a memory to it. You can listen to that song, you're like, man, if you have a good memory to a song, you're always gonna like that song. If you have a bad memory to a song, you're gonna not like that song. It's crazy. Like you can not like bands just because of one jerk put them on one time, or vice versa. You can, and so having such a strong mental connection with that sound, that artistic sound of music, can definitely be a beneficial thing. Like I would be very surprised if people would disagree with me on that. It'd be crazy because it's like there's been so much to do with that. There's so much like therapies and stuff behind that and everything. It's crazy.
Some of my friends were doing a sound healing event on like Instagram Live.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, dude, they had
Were they
like
doing the solfeggio frequencies? Were they doing that? Were they?
something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know. They didn't. I don't know. That's a trip too. Solfeggio, like the pure tones or like the tones that resonate with us.
Yeah, like those different. Yeah, you have those frequencies that can resonate with the frequencies within ourselves. And there's been different ideas behind that, which are they're always fun to, like I said, it goes back to my interest with theology and stuff and keeping an open mind, and how like, okay, you can have these binaural frequencies, two separate frequencies playing at once, which creates one stimulus in your brain to trigger one other thing. And so you can listen to these two frequencies, you're like, oh, now my hair is blonde, or obviously not that drastic, but it's interesting to see what people can think of with just notes.
Hey, do you know this dude named Paramhansa Yogananda?
I do not.
So he's pretty cool, dude. He has this book called Autobiography of a Yogi, which is a pretty incredible book. And yeah, dude. And so he talks about how like just like vibrations can actually like heal. And
Mm-hmm.
we visited a couple of his shrines, and there's like instruments on display and like cool like plaques talking about how like you can just like produce like these certain vibrations, and that it will like get rid of like toxic vibrations in our
Yeah.
bodies.
Yeah,
And
there's healing frequencies. I forget which ones they are. Oh, well, those are the solfeggio frequencies, and they're different octaves of one another and stuff. And that's what they are. They're supposedly they heal your DNA and everything. It's pretty interesting.
yeah, healing DNA.
Mm-hmm.
That's trippy, dude. Do you
Mm-hmm.
wanna I kinda wanna start wrapping this up, but
Yes, please. Yeah.
yeah. Is there anything else you wanna talk about before we go?
Nothing in particular. Just enjoying the conversation.
Oh yeah, dude, this was really amazing, very stimulating. I'd love to
Good.
do it again, definitely.
Yeah, please. Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
wanna,
let's just hang out too, though,
yeah. Or
when this is
I
all
don't,
over. Yeah.
yeah, dude. When we conquer the virus.
Yeah,
Do
please. Yeah. Cool.
you have a? I want to say anything to the people?
If you're tired, pull over. If you're thirsty, drink some water. If the sun's in your eyes, wear a hat.
Thank you, Max.
Thank you. All right. You have a good evening, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah, dude. I love you.